All right, so I got another quick product review for you guys. And listen, for people that don't deal with this, you skip right past it. But for anybody that has RLS, which is restless leg syndrome, it is, I mean, if you don't have it and you're interested, go look it up. People will tell you, testimonies. It is like one of the worst things ever. I've suffered from countless things: depression, anxiety, even regular insomnia. And I've always said if I could get rid of one thing, it would be restless legs. Um, the reason being is it's a physical thing, like it's something you feel physically that can affect you in all sorts of different ways. It affect you mentally, it'll affect your sleep, which will then further affect you mentally, which could worsen your depression, worsen your anxiety, all types of shit like that. But I don't want to go off on a tangent about what it is. If you have it, and I've had it for a long time, over a decade. I'll run through really quick. I was on a prescription medication maybe about 10 years ago or so. I was on it for a couple of years. It actually worked perfectly. It was called Rapinirole. Unfortunately, back then, I wasn't as informed on the medical side of things, or didn't pay as close attention with shit as I do now. And the doctor I had at the time was kind of somebody that would just, write you a script for whatever you wanted. Listen, he gave me a script for it. It worked. I didn't think anything of it. What I didn't know is basically you get something called augmentation from it, which is you take it, it works, your body gets used to it, you raise the dosage, it works, your body gets used to it, and that goes on until you can't raise the dosage anymore. And then when you get to the ceiling where you can no longer raise the dose, your RLS is actually worse than it was prior. And now you have nothing, to help you because the medicine doesn't work anymore. So had I known that, I would have never taken the medication to begin with. And I wound up in a worse situation, 2 to 5 years after I started taking it than I was at when I took it. Now, to be clear, when I was taking the medication, I was at that point, I was having it happen maybe 3 or 4 times a week. But again, it's such an uncomfortable feeling. It's really hard to explain. If the bottom of your feet are sensitive and you don't have it and you want to know what it feels like, kind of tickle the bottom of your feet and feel that sensation that you feel from kind of scratching and tickling the bottom of your feet. And think about that sensation being like inside your bones, like in your calves and inside your leg, and just in there, like sending that feeling throughout your legs from the inside out. And listen, there's a number of things that you can do to get rid of it. Different things work for different people. Stretching, walking around, massages, heat, cold, anything that'll give you like a dopamine hit, like an orgasm, eating some food that you love or something like that. There's all sorts of different shit that are kind of like quick fixes to it, or will help in the moment, right? I've noticed for me personally, like ice is an absolute terrible. If I put ice or any sort of cold on my legs when I have it, it just amplifies it and makes it worse. As far as some of the other things helping out, some of them help at times, but it varies with what helps. So like one day, a massage or stretching may help me, and the next night it might do nothing. So, me being who I was 10 years ago or so, I just was like, fuck it, I'm sick and tired of this. And I tried this medication, it worked, and I was on it for years. And then obviously, like I said, it got worse. Fast forward to today. I haven't used cannabis in a couple of months, and listen, from what I see on the research on it, it says cannabis doesn't help, but I'll tell you this. From the moment I've taken this break from using cannabis, my RLS has gone through the fucking roof. Through the fucking roof. I have it all night, every night. And the number one thing that's killing me, as bad as having it every night is that anything that I do to get it to go away, like if I do whatever it is, like let's say I get up and I stretch or I walk around and I get it to go away for 10 or 15 minutes, if I don't fall asleep in 10 or 15 minutes, it just comes right back. And this shit just keeps happening over and over and over again. And if I sleep that night, sometimes it'll take me 3 hours to get to sleep because I have sleep troubles anyway. So when I get it to go away, the likelihood of me falling asleep in 10 or 15 minutes before it comes back is very unlikely to begin with. So I wind up in this cycle over and over and over. So the reason I'm saying all this shit is, every year, every other year or so, I'll get so fed up with it that I'll start looking shit up online. And it's something that really there's not a ton of information out there. There's not a lot of shit that they'll tell you, hey, this is why you have it. This is how you get it to go away or keep it away or fix it or whatever. As time has gone on, 10 years ago, it was like a very, kind of unknown thing. Even if you brought it up to your doctor, it wasn't really something that they were very informed commonly with. Fast forward 5 years, it was kind of something where some people knew a little bit more than others, and it was, all right, try this usually works, or here, like I said, that medication or whatever the case was. Just recently, about 2 months ago or so, I was so sick of it one night, and I was looking shit up online, and I started seeing some forums and some recommendations that people were making, and I went to CVS looking for something. It was some sort of, I forget what it was called, but it was some sort of nighttime PM cream that you rub on your legs. Magnesium is another thing that's supposed to help. That sometimes helps me, sometimes doesn't. Anyway, I went to CVS, and they didn't have the cream that I was looking for, even though it said they did online, but typical shit. Not about CVS, just typical shit of how it goes when you're trying to find something. So the lady that I was asking for that helped me said she actually has it, and she recommended something called Restful Legs that is by a company called Hyland. I'm looking at it right now. I think it was about $12 in CVS, and I had never heard of it or whatever, but I'm looking at it like this. This is one of the worst ailments that I have in my life that other ailments can be amplified or made a lot worse from. And the ailment that I have is called restless leg syndrome. And you have a medication or a tablet or whatever it is in front of me called Restful Legs. So I'm like, listen, if this shit's gonna take this away for $12 fucking dollars, as much as I don't have a massive amount of money, and I'd rather not have to keep paying that over and over again, bro, I'll pay you $12 multiple times a month if it's gonna take this shit away. So, long story short, I buy this shit, and I tried it a couple different ways. That you basically, it's like tiny little tablets that you put under your tongue that just dissolve under your tongue. I don't know what I did with the bottle. I thought I saved the bottle in the box, but I can't find it to show you guys. But like I said, it's called Restful Legs by a company called Hyland's. And it's these little white tablets. I think it tells you to put like 2 or 3 or 3 or 4 under your tongue when you start to feel the symptoms come on. I've tried it a bunch of different ways. I tried it the lower dose, the way it recommended when I went to bed. I started to feel the symptoms come on. I put like 2 tablets under my tongue or whatever. It didn't really make it go away. I could kind of feel, this is really hard to explain, but I could kind of feel that it was trying to get amplified, and it seemed like maybe the tablets were kind of keeping it to a point where I wasn't going to be able to go to sleep, but it wasn't like making my legs move like crazy, because it gets to a point sometimes where you just start kicking your legs in bed, and then you got to sit up and get up, and you're like, yo, I got to get up. I can't fucking lay here anymore. So it kind of seemed like it was almost holding me in that middle ground where like it wasn't taking it away, but it wasn't letting it get to like that extreme of a scenario. But still, it wasn't, taking it away where it was allowing me to go to sleep. Then the next night, I kind of just took it when I went to bed. I was like, fuck waiting for the symptoms. The symptoms come within 10 minutes of me going to bed every time anyway. Let me try just taking it tonight as soon as I go to bed. That didn't really change anything. The next time I took 3 instead of 2 or 4 instead of 3, whatever it was. I took their, maximum recommended dosage and shit like that. And, the only thing that I could really notice any sort of difference whatsoever from prior to me taking it was, it seemed as if when I would take these tablets, it wouldn't make it go away, but if I would then get up and do something, if I got up and stretched, or I got up and I ate something and I got it to go away, it seemed to stay away at that point. It didn't seem to come back in 15 minutes. I didn't know if that was a coincidence or not, so I was kind of like, all right, we'll see what happens when this runs out. And sure enough, it probably wasn't a total coincidence. Were there times that I ate these tablets and I had to come back? There was a couple of times, but in general, after the tablets ran out, I've kind of noticed the same pattern where now I'll get it to go away and 15 minutes later it comes right back. I have something else lined up that's not a drug. You do need a prescription for it, but it's actual bands that go on your leg that send like a signal to your brain that your leg is moving. I haven't gotten them yet. I'm having a whole bunch of issues with my doctor writing the script out and shit. So when I get that, I will do a product review on that. I've heard very, very good reviews on that. It's a new product, so I'm really hoping that I can get the script for that and try that out. But as far as this Restful Legs thing, here's something that I thought was really, really ironic about the whole thing. When I read the back of the box, and listen, I'm sure it just said this because they wanted to cover their own ass or whatever the case is, but when I read the back of the box, ironically enough, it basically tells you right on the back of the box that this is not a cure or a treatment for restless leg syndrome. I don't really understand. I mean, I'm looking at the box right now. It says right on the front of the box, calms agitated legs so you can rest. It says itching, crawling, tingling sensation, urge to move legs, leg jerk. I mean, I don't really know how to better describe RLS than that. And when you have a symptom or you have, an ailment called restless legs and you name your product Restful Legs, I don't know, man. I mean, I understand you're trying to cover your ass and you're not, you're writing on it that it's not a treatment for restless legs. But, I mean, it kind of insinuates all over the box, in the name of it, in the description of it, that it is something that treats restless legs. But then you read the back and it tells you it doesn't. So I thought that was very strange. That was probably 2 months ago that I ran out of it, and I haven't bought it again. So as far as if I would recommend it to somebody, I mean, I guess that depends on the severity of what you have going on. And listen, it's not something that I would say pure garbage, does nothing, don't buy it, don't waste your time. For $12, I mean, who really gives a fuck, right? If you have restless legs and you know how bad it is, fuck it. Take a shot for $12. If it works for you or it helps you or whatever, then, so be it. More power to you. For me, it's not something that I probably would buy again. So I don't know, whatever. I give it like a 5 out of 10. I will say maybe it helped a little bit, but it certainly didn't take it away. And it's not really something that I would probably go buy again, or that I would say to somebody, hey, if you have restless legs, you got to try this shit out. So that's the review right there on Hyland's Restful Legs. So, take it how you want it. It may be worth trying if you have bad restless leg syndrome. That's my recommendation, but I wouldn't be counting on this thing to really save the day for you. So, peace.